I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I don't want to make a mistake on what I'm saying now because, hell yes, I'm very upset. I have every right to be. I've been putting up here for years now what's being done to me and done, at least part of what's being done to me. But since I don't have any civil rights, I'm not able to really speak out and tell it. Or I'm in, like Larry Flint, contempt of court, right? So to speak. That's not really their thing they scare you to hell with. What they did to Anastasia, the fact they can do that scares the hell out of you. If I get knocked off of YouTube, sorry, but it hasn't been fun, and somebody's asked me if I had this to do over, would I? No, absolutely not. Just in this place right here, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, I'll be out on the street. I'm dying anyway from this mildew and mold that soaks the whole friggin' place. Run from room to room. They have gotten wealthy. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I've said it. They've gotten wealthy off of my being here in Roanoke, Salem, the Patels and Shaws, and the others, the motels that I could afford, because I've been delegated to that. When I tried to get a HUD, low income, then that's been sabotaged. And if you didn't hear the truth on a moment-to-moment basis, and who cares? Who really cares? I wish I'd never told about mind control murders. I was kidnapped, and what good did that do me to try to tell anything? Here I am, old, and I'm just going to leave it at this. This has been ongoing. When the state trooper, and heaven help, I hope he's a good guy, he and his wife brought me to Affordable Corporate Suites on Starkey Road in 2009. I'm just going to use that as an example because that all those are owned by a man who's Jewish. And I've stayed in those. If you, I've got a paper that I've put up over and over. I was really soaked with chemicals at one of his places. And well, all of them. But this one near here, where I'm at now. And this woman, I mean, they really soaked me. They run me with a vacuum cleaner. Remember, Terry? You don't remember that. You'd left, and they came in, and they run me with vacuum cleaner and tried to take out my phone and stuff I had. It was their joke after they'd soaked me. And then put a letter, which I've put up here. I still have it. It was taken, but I got it back. Her name is Debbie McKay, I believe. I'm going to say it again. This is such a horror story, and God help me to walk out of it. I'm just going to put this one instance because they have had a hell of a time at my expense and pain and my children's. They have laughed in my face. They've done everything in the book to me. And they've had their fun. Every friggin' one of them has. I'm going to use this as an example because I've put this up and believe me, I've turned it over to the right people. And evidently your health department here is totally shut down as far as any of this is concerned because I'm told by some of the pipliners that upstairs that they've got the mold and mildew on the ceiling that they can see. And they took pictures of it. But this has been ongoing out at Scott Hill. And now then, I always paid my rent, HUD, all of it. Now then, the way it was fixed out at Scott Hill last June, it came about. I couldn't stay in that place. I would have been dead. I went back out there. I was out there 3 years ago because I'm so desperate to have a place to live. Now then, the way they fixed it, I left there. They never meant for me to stay. And now then, I couldn't get a HUD. You think I could take this into court with all that's happened to me if I had an attorney? With that one heck of an attorney and judge, they just locked me up. So right now, as it stands, I couldn't even get a HUD, low income, with what happened out there the last time. I didn't do anything wrong. They never meant for me to stay. You'd have to see it. Now I'm here and I've stayed here, and I guess this is it because I'm just so sick and tired of being. Well, they're told not to help me, and they're told what to do to me, and they've done it. And I'm almost 80 years old, and the one state trooper said to me, and I've repeated it again, and I know it, don't let yourself get to where you have to go to assisted living or nursing home, because then I can't run, because law enforcement does what they're told to, one way or the other. They can help me or hurt me, and they get things on people, your maintenance, or well, let's take for instance your hotel motel. They have codes they're supposed to live by. Of course, the health department hadn't showed up and made them fix it, but this is what they get on them, or on their children, and some kind of infraction, driving or drugs or whatever, and they do whatever they're told so that they won't be prosecuted. And most of all, it's been to hurt me. So tomorrow, I wish I could walk out the door, and if I say I'm mumbling, people have known I've told the truth about the mind control murders, about my kidnapping, and what's been done to me. And I want to get back to this over at Affordable Corporate Suites. One of the murders here was, forget her first name, I know it, but I'm upset and I'm sick right now. Murphy was her last name. She was a black girl that was killed that lived in Livingston, near Charlottesville. Anyway, when I was over at Affordable Corporate that I was talking about with Debbie McKay, the manager, I'm not going to go into all the other. This has been running me from here to there with chemicals and doing anything in the book they wanted to me. I've watched people eat and pig out and close, and it's so horrible. Anyway, Debbie said to me one day I'd paid my rent on time, everything. And she told me she turned the computer around so I could see it. And this is in 2013, I believe. Yeah, 2013. And she said to me, it showed her daughter in her graduation gown. She said, I'm not going to take your rent anymore. And she had left, no, she hadn't at that time, I don't think, left the letter on my door. She said to me, I'm not going to have my daughter die, I think's what she said, die, use the word die, like Alexis Murphy did. And she had the computer on her desk turned around to her daughter in her graduation gown. And she come and she put a letter on my door, which I've put up, and it's unbelievable, because then she got mad at me for, this is what people do with it. You talk about violation of civil rights. First of all, what they did to me with chemicals, they're deliberately just soaking me. It is assault with a deadly weapon to me. And they knew it. And this is just one of the places. But she comes and puts a letter on my door with their logo or their heading. She signs it. And she says that I have to leave. She will no longer accept my rent. And because I wouldn't let them, she something about I wouldn't let them come in and clean. My God in heaven, they soaked me. There was a man living over there. And I have a feeling that at one point he had tried to help me and moved in there. I'm not going to say anything else. Anyway, he told me, he said, they're supposed to give you a listing of what they use in these apartments to clean, or rooms. That was where you could live a month and pay a security deposit, and one of those usually people who are businessmen coming into town. Anyway, what went on with those? I've been bounced around, and my health is so bad now from it. But anyway, Debbie put the thing on my door, and it's unbelievable. If they've made film of this, and God, please have let Larry Flynn or somebody have videos and show it. So I have some of living through this hell when all I was born, kidnapped and brought over here, and God knows if it's ever put up, how do you face it? That's the only way it'll ever work, is if you have to look at what you've done one-on-one when you are yourselves. And I'm going to say this again, I don't mean this at the people who have helped me with some clothes here the last couple of months and some food here off of YouTube. I will say this, I knew it when I went down there. I was so afraid to go, but my clothes needed to be washed now that I have some. I'm here with a garbage bag, a big garbage bag full of wet clothes that I can't dry. I can hardly get them down in this little cart to roll them down to the washer dryer. This has happened before. It's sabotage, not just that they've got, oh, believe me, it's been orchestrated. And because people live a pretty good life still, they like to pretend it's not happening. Oh, lady, you're just telling that, even though I put where I ran for Congress, and I'm telling them about mind control, which should interest them, really. What else can I say? I have nothing left. I've come back, and at one point, enough's enough. And I'm threatened with, if I raise my voice or anything, that they can handcuff me and haul my ass off and fill me full of stuff, just like they did Anastasia and killed her. What they did to my babies, how sick this country is, how absolutely rotten and sick. And if anybody wants to get mad at me, go right ahead. You haven't walked in my friggin' shoes 1 minute. And yeah, okay. This has just been ongoing, and I'm supposed to suck it up. Anything done to me, and I'm supposed to smile and don't raise your voice. They asked me if I would do it again. First of all, I had nothing to do with my kidnapping or any of that, but as far as being so kind and caring, I don't want to lose that, but I sure know I wouldn't do it again. I would not lay my life on the line for all these people who, if this is ever told, they'd start suing, and they'd start, then give a rat's about me. I know, I've lived it. I'm sitting here raising my voice. When are they going to come and knock at the door? I have nothing left for them. I really don't. And yeah, I wish that the law worked for me. One time in my life, you start handcuffing them all and locking them up. Debbie McKay put that note on my door, which was a total lie. I asked her, I said, if I didn't move, this is just once. They're told to do it, and they do it. And I said, what if I come up there and stand there with my rent, which I'd done every moment it was due, when they opened the door and it was due. She said, well, I'll have you arrested for trespassing. I can promise you that they would have arrested me. So then I put it up on YouTube. There's a lot of other stuff I put up. I had a guy that was told to come and soak me with it's unreal, with the, by the way, I don't have that anymore. I think I did put it up way back during that time period. The video, you should see it, him soaking me and laughing with a fire hydrant with some kind of chemical in it to wash up the Somebody put stuff on the sidewalk right in front of my place. So this is nothing to what's been done to me. And I'm sitting here and I'm sure there'll be a good explanation. Like somebody just called before me, they said a little bit before, and said that one of the washers or the dryer was not working. Well, it did. It took the money. Till I got done. What did I put in there? $2. It's $2 to dry. I put my $2 in there, and it was still showing I owed $1, and then it wouldn't take it. It wouldn't register. You just put money in it. So you could say, well, and I lost a quarter. I think it was just a quarter of the washer. And they think this is funny because, yeah, it was staged. I've been through it too many times. People wouldn't believe the sick jokes that have been played on me just because they could. And yeah, I wish I could walk out the door and be free and my children. Because you talk about hate crimes. You all had to hate my guts. And I shall remember that, I hope, if there's ever any justice and you don't send your henchmen out here to lock me up for telling the truth.